This is going to be a hard topic for me to talk about. I want to start this off by saying that I'm going to be talking about rape in this video. And if if that's a touchy subject for you and if you don't want any discussion about it, if you don't want to listen to anything about it, I would suggest turning the video off now. So, viewer discretion is advised. So, it was today that I found out that, well, let me just talk about the situation first. So, obviously, Night in the Woods is a game that I take near and dear to my heart. It touched me in a place that, a lot of games, a lot of stories have never gone to. And it's truly something special to me. And the co-creator of the game, Alec, he was an amazing director. He was an amazing composer, and his compositions are something that really hooked me. They're beautiful pieces of artwork, and whenever I get my keyboard and whenever I try going into GarageBand, I try to compose in that style, and I looked up to him for inspiration. I loved how he did songs. I loved how he would incorporate little pieces and pieces to represent each character, and it was something special. The whole thing is just something special, and it really does deserve to be critically acclaimed and praised as one of the best indie titles of all time, at least of the 21st century. And not 21st century, you know what I mean, the 2010s. I'm sorry, but well, it was yesterday that co-creator Alec has been he's been accused with rape and sexual assault on one of his co-workers. Now, I don't exactly remember their name, but it was described as, she was able to describe it very easily, and the story goes is that Alec invited her and her family to come stay at his home in Winnipeg, Canada, and so there they were, and Alec brought her into his room, and that's where it happened. So this co-worker, she would spend time hiding in the bathroom until Alec would leave the house, or just hiding from him because he wouldn't leave. And this was all over a breakup email. So this is some sort of relationship that they did not want to have anymore. And yeah, going further into the topic, it was said that Alec would be very erratic. He would just act up at seemingly random. He would throw things across the room. He would hurt himself, and he would blame it on her. And when these accusations popped up yesterday, well, the team Infinite Fall they believed the story, and Alec was subsequently fired. So yeah, and that's the story of the situation. And now, it's been said throughout the official Night in the Woods tweets, long conversation that they've had by Scott Benson, by the way, who is a much better person. Scott explained that their current project is going to be canceled. And I know that that project was the Night in the Woods prequel, so to have something to expand on this universe just having to be canceled because one of their arguably most important role did something truly unforgivable. And it hurts. This whole thing hurts. And I feel disgusted in myself that I looked up to this person. And yeah, it hurts. Now, I do believe that people can change. And, you know, there's been rapists, there's been murderers that have paid their time. They've paid their 20, 30 years in jail, and they've come out as better people. People can change. And if you do something as scummy as this, you deserve to live with that guilt for the rest of your life. But that doesn't mean you can't change. And I'm really hoping that this whole situation, I mean, this is something that has to be taken to court. Like, not kidding. This is, I mean, obviously, this the kind of thing can only be truly solved in court. Because at the moment, it's really just accusations. And I am inclined to believe that they are true due to how Infinite Fall reacted to the situation. But there's no way I can know for sure. I do know that the court system in accusations of rape is definitely more lenient towards women, which is, I mean, look, I'm a leftist and, you know, so I want equality, and that's not equality to have it more leaning towards one gender than the other. So, yeah, it has to be taken to court because we don't even know if this is true. Maybe Alec is completely innocent, but there's no way we can know for sure. And there is evidence. She has spoken out against Alec, and her descriptions were very, descriptive. They were very. It was like they were like ingrained into her mind, and she couldn't talk about them since these events happened in like 4 or 5 years ago. So while the game was being developed. This is hard to talk about. This is, don't be like this, okay? Don't be like these types of people who do scummy things and act completely inappropriately. Even if they are in a position of power like Alec was. Alec was the boss of Infinite Fall. And don't be scummy like this. I've taken it upon myself to not look up to him anymore. And I've decided that now I want to become a better version of him. And yeah. So, to end this on a final note, people can do terrible things. You can look at someone and believe that they're not capable of doing something terrible, but then they do something terrible and it hurts. Someone you've looked up to for a couple of years now, and tried to be like them, tried to compose like them, tried to, create something because you were inspired by them, and then have that yanked away because they did something terrible, like raping a coworker and forcing her to hide because of his abusive actions and how he would just act completely erratically. It hurts. But people can change. I know people can change. I know there's people that have done bad things in the past and have been able to redeem themselves. But those people do deserve to live with the guilt of whatever they've done, whether it be murder, whether it be rape, whether it be anything else. I think I'm gonna finish this up. So, yeah, this was a hard video to make for me, but it has to be done. If you want to learn a bit more about this situation, I suggest reading up. Polygon had a really great article about this, and it was detailing the events and the accusations, and so far we only have one side of the story, but they did as good as they could with the information that they had and had come to a conclusion. So go check out that if you want more information on this. They also talked about in another article a similar situation that just happened revolving a sound designer from Skyrim. And listen, Skyrim and Night in the Woods are two of my favorite games of all time. I mean, of course, they're very completely different games. Skyrim is a AAA first-person RPG, and Night in the Woods is an indie side-scroller. But both are amazing games, and I love them both. Is my view of these games tarnished by these actions? Honestly, for Night in the Woods, yeah. Obviously, I still think it's one of the greatest indies of all time, and it deserves to be on a top 5 list. Maybe on the top 3 list. For what it represents, for what it tells a story about, for the artwork, for the visuals, for everything. But it just hurts. It just hurts. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening. Once again, I know I sound like a broken record saying this, but it was hard for me to make this. And I'm sure it's hard for a lot of other people too, to know that this whole mess had to happen. And if he didn't act this way, everything could have just been the way it was intended to be. I'll see you guys in the next video. I know this wasn't like a meme video or anything like my last one, but this is a serious topic, and it had to be addressed seriously. Thank you guys for watching.